This is a story of a young man named Daniel, who knew pain and felt every ounce of it. In the silence of his stomach, the emptiness of his wallet, and the echoes of unanswered prayers. But still, he prayed. He lives in a tiny, dim room with no fan or comfort. He works odd jobs, sleeps hungry, and lives hand to mouth. He's prayerful, waking every night to cry out to God. One day, while doing one of his menial jobs, he stumbled on a flyer that advertised soft skills that one could do to earn money. He was captivated by how stunning the flyer looked, and he wanted to be able to design something like that or even better. He met with a man in his church named Elliot who was working in a cafe shop to inquire how he could get a laptop. The prices he was told were very unfavorable, as Daniel could barely afford to eat in a day. Even if he did his menial jobs every second of his life all through the year, he still would not be able to afford a laptop. But he was determined, as he was tired of living in penury. So he agreed with the cafeteria to rent the laptop every evening. So after doing his menial jobs, he goes to the cafeteria to spend 2 hours learning graphic design on YouTube before going home to rest. The cafeterian soon noticed his resilience and offered to lend him the laptop for longer hours on weekends and return it as early as possible on Mondays. The cafeterian even gave him a MiFi, which Daniel had to recharge to be able to access the internet. While the world slept, Daniel stayed awake, not in worry, but in search of wisdom. YouTube tutorials became his lectures, books his professors. He prayed, fasted, and studied by candlelight when there was no power. With shaky hands and little skill, Daniel became good at what he was doing, and soon enough, the cafeterian noticed his resilience and did not fail to recommend Daniel when an offer came to design the church flyer and other jobs outside the church. 1 gig turned into 2, 2 into 10. Not much, but he saw the hand of God slowly at work. Now, Daniel could afford moderate clothes and at least a decent meal while saving up to get his laptop. He kept fasting, praying, studying, and backing it up with prayer, and soon he got a major deal. When the breakthrough came, it was sudden. 1 email changed Daniel's life. His skills were finally seen, and so was his God. One of the top church members found his work enticing and offered Daniel a high-paying remote job, which he was earning more than ever before. Daniel starts a successful digital agency with the youths in church, and even outside the church. He buys a car, moves into a luxurious apartment, and is invited to speak at conferences. From local boy to global boss, Daniel was becoming a name, a brand, a success story. But with each step up, his prayers grew silent. He no longer attends church. He ignores calls from old spiritual mentors. He lives for luxury. He credits himself for everything. The man who once begged at midnight, now toasted at clubs. He forgot the giver, but the giver never forgot him. Not all open doors led to blessings. 1 deal cost him everything. He got scammed by a fake investor and lost his startup capital. A scandal hits. His company loses clients. His name is dragged through the mud. Friends disappear. He nearly gives up. Life came crashing. Not all storms are to destroy, some come to redirect. And this one brought Daniel back to his knees. But even in loss, Daniel whispered, "Lord, I still trust you." It was then Daniel realized that he forgot the one who helped him and promised never to forsake God after answered prayers. He could not go back to his old church due to shame, so he committed to another living church in his area. He started attending weekly meetings, and on one Sunday while he was in church, the pastor preached from Psalm 103 verse 2. He rededicates his life to God and starts using his wealth to help others. He remembered, not just the pain or the success, but the one who carried him through both. And this time, Daniel stayed.